Hi, Mike Damergis here from RotoExperts.com. Of course, with the king himself, Mr. Scott Engel. Scott, we're going to week 2. What are the King's tips going into week 2 of the NFL season?
Well, thank you, my royal subject, and I really appreciate how the way you ran in across the
You like
moat
that?
to make it in this video.
Darted right in.
Yeah. So, let's start at quarterback, and there's a lot of talk about Michael Vick this week, Mike, and I like Michael Vick a lot. Now, John Carney, who does a column on our site, made some great points. Make sure you check out Kicking It with Carney every week on RotoExperts.com, courtesy of our friends at Pro Player Connect. I like Vick this week because, as John pointed out, and I agree with him, that in the first week when he played so well, he was only practicing with limited packages, not Kevin Cobb's playbook. This year, he gets to practice with the full playbook against a defense that's improved in Detroit this year, but may not be quite ready to handle him on the run. Don't be surprised if Vick runs for more yards than he passes. Jay Cutler, well, we talk on the SiriusXM show. I'm not a huge fan of Jay Cutler this season. Yeah, he's not coming in my kingdom anytime soon, or my fantasy teams. Cutler got a little lucky that first week. Thank you, Matt Forte. But I don't think it's going to happen 2 weeks in a row against this Dallas defense when he takes his 175-step drops and he's got DeMarcus Ware in his face. I don't like him. Joe Flacco, statistically, he wasn't there against the Jets, but he did show us something last week. I think in a divisional game against Cincinnati, Cincinnati does have a sturdy defense, but I think they're going to be able to put up some numbers.
At wide receiver, we're hearing a lot of buzz about T.J. Houshmandzadeh.
Well, T.J. Houshmandzadeh faces his former team this week, and anytime a guy faces his former team, you have to take notice.
And what is the edict on that one?
Anytime a guy faces his former team, you have to take notice. What is the edict? We got to do a 3, 2, 1 countdown and say always pay attention when a guy faces his former team. Can you go with me there? 3, 2, 1. Always pay attention when a guy faces his former team. You're just not in tune with me, but I guess that'll be good enough. Houshmandzadeh, though, I wouldn't start him this week unless you're playing a very large league and you're desperate for help. But still, facing his former team. Greg Camarillo also faces his former team this week. You have to take notice because Percy Harvin has a hip injury. He'll play. We don't know how effective he's going to be. And Bernard Berrien just not into flow in the offense. Camarillo has another week in that offense in which he can make a contribution. And another deep guy to watch, Nate Washington, faces the Pittsburgh Steelers and Vince Young. He can do something with the ball, so I think you have to watch Nate Washington as well. And now we go on to talk about the third skill position.
The running backs, of course. Ray Rice held in check pretty much by the Jets last week. You think a bigger game this week?
Well, I mean, but I was kind of on the fence about Ray Rice because the New York Daily News that does such tremendous fantasy coverage says to start him. And I was on the bubble about starting this top 3 wide running back. But Rice, you don't worry about it. You don't overreact to 1 week. I think you like Rice this week. And Rice certainly going to put up better numbers this week. A lot of people picked up Brandon Jackson. Brandon Jackson, I wouldn't start him over a more established running back. You don't want to overanalyze the fact that he's starting. He's going to get more quality touches. But Brandon Jackson, although he looked very good in the preseason and he's bulked up, we'll have to wait and see if he's proven enough to handle this role. So don't use him over a more proven guy. I like Javid Best in Detroit on that turf in front of an emotional home crowd. You can never underrate emotion in the NFL. Sometimes it overrides a matchup. So another King's edict.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Never underrate emotion. Ready? On 3. 3, 2, 1. Never underrate emotion. That's right. Football is a game of emotion, and that's why Eli Manning is a good pick this week because he's certainly going to want to beat his brother.
How about Arian Foster, 230-plus yards last week against the Colts? What can fantasy owners expect from him this week?
Well, certainly not nearly as much, and I think a lot of people actually worried in Houston about the passing game. And I don't think you can't react to what's going to happen in 1 week. I mean, they're not going to do that every week. And when teams scout film, they're going to key on Foster, so the Texans are going to go out throwing, and they got a good passing game.
How's that crown feeling? Pretty good?
Yeah, it fits well, you know.
Okay.
I mean, I am the king. It's good to be the king, as they say from History of the World
That's
Part
right,
1.
Mel
Yeah.
Brooks. Anyway, you can catch Scott Engel, Adam Ronis, myself, Mike Damergis, weekdays from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on XM 147, Series 211 for the RotoExperts.com. I'm Mike Damergis, and of course, as you know, he's a king, Scott Engel.
Thank you, Court Jester. We'll see you next time.
You got it. I'm out of here.